Good morning. Ruben Dane is a Chief. You think so? What's up, everybody? Listen, just real quick. There was a water outage. We had a leak. I had no water. So this is just straight up bedhead. Was unable to take a shower. Good morning. Hope we're all feeling okay. Steak is off today. If you didn't see my message in tweet, I almost just said Twitter. Steak is off today. He is traveling. We will be live later tonight on the Pickett YouTube channel. We're going to do a pregame show. Basically what the degenerate hour, what the happy hour was, we're going to start doing a pregame show on Pickett's YouTube. The turnouts have been great, so please go over to the Pickett YouTube channel. Here's the link. Subscribe to it. You'll get a notification when we're live. Bang. And we're going to do a pregame show. We're going to talk Miami Ole Miss. We're going to talk Indiana, Oregon. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to line it up to be like kind of like college game day, but a pregame show for the biggest game on the slate. So whatever day it is, it'll move around and we'll let you know. We'll promote it. DJ with the model hair. Yeah, don't get back here though. It's disappearing. That's what my wife likes to point out. What's up? That hair. Let's go. Yeah, all right. I'll just leave it. I was gonna put a hat on, but maybe we'll just fucking rock with it. So filling in for Steak, we got our buddy Drew. You guys know Drew. Drew was on here maybe a week or two ago, talking ball. Did a great job. Certified ball knower. Probably I would hand it to him. Knows more ball than myself. He's also a Miami fan. So we're going to talk Miami Ole Miss. We're going to get his thoughts on kind of all things college football. Talk a little NFL head coaching carousel because I did have some Snacks, shout out Snacks, DM me yesterday and ask if we talked Jim Harbaugh, and we did not. We did not talk Harbaugh. I believe I just got a notification that the Bucs fired their offensive coordinator. I don't know what took so long. He should have been fired in week 15, frankly. But that's great news. Really, Cane's large. Drew says Kevin. Yep. Ole Miss schedule so weak and Wazoo almost beat them. Oh boy. I don't know. By the way, ate some scrambled eggs and a piece of pepper down my nostril. It's still sitting there, so I apologize. I'll try to mute myself as I inhale, exhale, and maybe try to hawk up this fucking piece of pepper. Appreciate all the subs that are coming in. Huaca 23 6 months. Appreciate you, dude. Jeffson 12 with a 5-stream streak. Hype train already nice and early. Brock D with a sub. Always appreciate you, Brock. 24 months. Happy 2-year anniversary. Kevin D 12 months. Happy year anniversary. Chase Breedlove. Good to see you back in action. 31 months been subscribed. Appreciate you. Pip Talk Sports with a follow. Alex F with a stream streak. All right, we're up and at it. And then after Drew and I talk ball, we'll get into last night's action. We are starting to get back into college basketball. I can't tell you I had a great time watching the games last night. I tried. 2 nights ago, I had a better time. Last night, I didn't have a great time watching the games. It's not very good basketball. Not always my cup of tea. But a good night nonetheless. I think I went 4-3 and won like $32 or something. So we'll take it. What's up, Rage? Good to see you, Rage. I've seen you being active on Twitter a little bit, liking, commenting, or whatnot. You seem like you'd be great in one of these chats, whether on YouTube or Twitch. You can do whatever you want, but we do appreciate it if you guys come over and watch on a platform we monetize and get involved. All right, Drew, you ready to roll? I see you marinating in the queue. You good to come on up here?
Let's bring it on. Let's go.
Well, it's good to have you back. Thank you for making the time. And I'd be remiss not to let people know that not as if you weren't good enough to have up here, but we were going to have a guest on today. And I told you about this guest, and it got you kind of excited. And then it fell through, but for all the right reasons. For anybody who knows Miami football, we were going to have Danny Boy Kane on here today. He is probably, would you say he's the most popular Miami Hurricanes fan on social media?
That's not a player, like not like an ex-player, right?
Yeah. Not a Michael Irvin, right? Not a Michael Irvin,
right? But he is an absolute legend. He's been in the Hurricane message board space going 20 plus years. He's had a lot of things happen to him over the years, and we're all glad that he's alive and well, and evidently on his way to Arizona to go see the game.
So he initially told me that it had to be the morning because he had a dentist appointment, which is fine. And then next thing I know, I saw a tweet from, I think it was Tate or Mincy, one of the Barstool accounts. They're having great content right now over there in Arizona. And they said that Big Cat bought a ticket for Danny Boy Kane. He's on a flight right now to Phoenix to join them. So That should
I'm
be
really confused though, because he messaged you that he had a dental appointment in New Jersey, but he lives in Florida and now he's flying to Arizona. So he's a mysterious man.
very, very mysterious, man. So I wanted to ask you, I kind of want to segue that. He's been on the message boards for 20 plus years. You've also been on the Miami message boards.
It's not something I'm proud of.
No, it's okay.
It's not like I introduced myself saying, "Hey, guess what? I've been on stupid college football message boards since I was a little boy, and now I'm almost a 40-year-old man." How are you?
I got to tell you something though. Being on the message boards builds character. It's in a way, I always tell people it's kind of like being on Twitter. Twitter's not for everybody. It's not.
It was Twitter before Twitter.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like Reddit. You know, I like Reddit, but Reddit's like full of softies and it's kind of vanilla here and there. The message boards are good because it's just
scumbags.
It's scumbags, dude. And you got to have
yeah.
a little bit of that in your life. And you know, I'll never forget what Elon said about Twitter a long time ago before he bought it, but he's like, they'll knife you good on Twitter. I mean, they will fucking get you. The message boards are kind of like that as well. The players aren't safe, the coaches aren't safe, and other members of the message boards aren't safe.
No, especially like before social media really blew up, like message boards were insane. Like from 2005 to 2012, I mean, it was just the wild, wild west. A lot of great content, a lot of funny stuff from them. So yeah, definitely builds character.
So I wanted to ask you, as we start to talk some college football, I want to get your thoughts on the Miami game. Obviously, I want to get some of your thoughts on Indiana, Oregon, and also kind of get the pulse of what the Miami Hurricanes fan base is saying, if they're confident, if they're nervous or whatnot. But before we do, you're a college football fan. You and I, if people don't know, again, because we get new visitors in here all the time. If you don't remember Drew, he was on here a little bit. We did the Rays Glaze together, but I've been friends with Drew since middle school, and diehard sports fans. I would say Drew is probably as well versed in any topic in sports as anyone I know. What are your thoughts on what's going on in college football with the transfer portal, with the coaches? Because we talked about it last week. We were almost, I always try to play devil's advocate and like see both sides and like, okay, if I'm a fan, what is like the fun and entertainment in this? And it's like free agency now. And you have these 10, 15 quarterbacks and it's like, ooh, where would be the best fit, you know? And like, Byron Brown going to Auburn is cool. Austin Simmons, you know, being the starter at Ole Miss, now he's the backup going to Missouri, kind of cool. Like I'm trying to look for the pros of it. But then the DeMond Williams situation, I don't know if you followed or whatnot and seen what's happened to him. Signed a contract with Washington. Yeah. LSU gives him a fucking blank check. Now he's trying to get out of it. Washington says, fuck you. Is college football ruined, or what are you trying to find the positive in the entertainment in this?
I think ruined is a bit strong, but it's very hard to follow. It's very, very hard to follow. Like, I don't understand how people even like come up with magazines doing season previews of knowing who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. And also too, just as a fan, like, I don't know how you follow your team anymore. Like in years past as a Hurricane fan, you would know their recruiting class. You would know, okay, these are the guys coming back. It's like basically you get a whole brand new football team. And it's the same with college basketball. You get a whole brand new team every single year. I mean, think about Miami. Think about how much Miami has changed in a year. Last year, what was Miami known for throughout the country? A finesse, soft team that scores 50 points, but they give up 45 points, right? Yeah. And now they're the complete opposite. They're the complete opposite team in less than a year, right? Now they're known as like the toughest, most hard-nosed team in the country, but they struggle to score points. So it's extremely hard to follow as a fan. And I don't see it changing. So I feel like if you're going to continue to follow the sport, you can bitch about it. Don't get me wrong. I love to bitch. You know that. Yeah. But it's not going to get any better probably.
So I was thinking that it's not going to get any better maybe in the short term, but it seems like so many people are ringing the alarms on this and talking about how bad it is for the sport. I mean, they got to step in and do something. I mean,
yeah, you got like fucking like people like Ted Cruz are tweeting about it. Like he doesn't have better things to be doing. But I mean, I think that the lowest hanging fruit is fixing the schedule and ending the college football season like January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd, somewhere like early January. So that way you open up the transfer portal, you know, January 1st or January 2nd, and then you have much less chaos. And then also too, they obviously need to get something in place for the coaching because it's not fair, obviously, to have all these coaches moving around in the middle of a playoff. There's no other sport that happens. There's literally no other sport where can you imagine in college basketball going through March Madness and some Cinderella team makes it to the Elite Eight, like FAU did that one year, but he's not going to coach the Final Four game because he just took Michigan's job. I mean, that would just never happen. So
no, it's crazy. Also, not to mention, somebody was talking about JMU. All these players, these G5 schools, they're fun and exciting one year, and then
they all leave.
They all leave the very next year. That fucking sucks.
It's not like, oh, you know what, we lost our quarterback. It's like everybody's gone. Like everybody, every starter is gone. So like, how do you follow that as a fan? Like, in college football, even before things got chaotic, you're used to turning over, 30-40% of your roster. But how do you follow it when literally 90% of it's turned over year to year?
I don't know. I talked about that briefly because I do love reading the Lindy's College Football magazine, and I love college football future bets. And it's hard because, and there's this guy, Brad Powers. I don't know if you follow him. I'm sure people following or in the chat know Brad Powers. He's a professional sports bettor, big college football guy. But Brad flies around the country just getting down on win totals and look ahead lines. So in week 7, if Miami is -7 against Pitt, he'll hammer Miami in hopes that, by the time that game comes around, Miami will be -10, 12, 14, whatever. I don't know how people do this shit nowadays. There's no way I could have fucking thousands of dollars of capital tied up on college football teams where guys are coming in that I have no idea who the fuck they are. Question for you on this. How did Indiana become Alabama overnight in the blink of an eye? Every single top transfer from all these other schools, the wide receiver at Michigan State, the defensive end at wherever the fuck, is going to Indiana. Does everybody really just want to play?
Mark Cuban.
What do you mean?
He's like their biggest booster. He's writing them enormous checks. I'm pretty sure he went to Indiana, and he's funding all their NIL money.
I did not know that.
He said that last year they were very happy with the check that he wrote, and he said this year they're going to be even happier.
Jesus Christ. So we know you told me about the Texas Tech guy, the 45-year-old oil tycoon, who's writing blank checks over there. They're having most expensive rosters. So that makes sense. So these guys are getting bags upon bags of money around the 20 million cap or whatever it is. There's loopholes to pay players more that are off the books.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure you could defer payments. You could probably send payments to their cousin or something like that. Oh yeah, I mean, there's always going to be scams. There's always going to be workarounds, right? There's people aren't going to follow rules to a T. They never are.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting.
I just don't see how long term the smaller programs survive. How is it viable that programs like JMU and Tulane are going to replace their roster every single year? I don't see how that's going to work.
I don't either. Also, yeah, that's right. Do you remember this story about Ballmer paying Kawhi on the side, which is funny? I've kind of always thought, why wouldn't coaches and players do that? I mean, you certainly can.
That's next level though. I mean, how much fucking money does that guy need? I mean, the NBA money just baseline is insane. He's probably making $50+ million a year already, right?
Yeah.
How much more do you need? I mean, is there ever a point where it's enough? Ever?
Well, there's 30 something organizations, and if someone's going to offer more money, that's the only way to really to get somebody's attention.
I just don't see how the needle really moves for you once you're making more than $20 million.
Right.
Is your life really that different? Oh man, I was making 30 mil and now I'm making 40 mil. Does it really move that much? Obviously I get the difference between making 3 mil and 6 mil, that's a huge difference. But once you're making $20+ million a year, I don't know, outside of just seeing a bigger zero in your bank account, I don't know what else it does for you.
Reggie Bullock is buying islands. Do you know who Reggie Bullock is?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
he's an NBA player. Oh, Snowman is an Indiana fan. He's very biased. He says, horrible take. Indiana had 7 4-stars and 0 5-stars.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not. I mean, maybe we framed it they're only here because Mark Cuban's give them. No. they are certainly not the most talented team in the country, not even close. They're not even one of the top 20 most talented teams in the country. So no. Give Indiana all of its flowers for this year's team. Give Cignetti, all the praise in the world. So yeah, don't get that twisted.
Right. More hookers, more cocaine. Yeah, sure. Sounds about right. I mean, there's probably a level of like elites that you get introduced to when you start making a like LeBron type money. I would imagine.
What's interesting was I saw an interview was randomly shared a lot on Twitter with Nevada's head coach, and basically his recruiting pitch is, hey, come work with me and I'll get you a bag at a bigger school. Like he was promoting all the players that he had this past year, and they got 7-figure bags at Oregon and other places like that. So like his recruiting pitch is just come here for 1 year, we'll work on your fundamentals, and then we'll get you a bag at a bigger school.
Wow, that's kind of pathetic. That's straight up cuck. That's cuck. But hey, you gotta whatever works. Here's what I think.
It's basically AAU. It's basically just like AAU.
Here's what I think would be interesting. Could you imagine being in college and being around someone who is a millionaire? Because I remember when we were in college, I mean, nobody we knew was, even if you were working a job, you weren't making a fuck ton of money, but it'd be like, oh, you'll go out, you'll be the guy that buys around the shots or whatever. You would hope to have like the friend with the rich parent. And it's like, all right, the friend's got the rich parent. The rich parent gives them the credit card. You go out for the weekend. Maybe when we're at Daytona, we go to Molly Brown's, whatever the fuck, not trying to give too many details away about our teenage years. But now I couldn't even imagine being a kid in college with millions of dollars. Where do you even live? Where do you live? You don't live in college housing. You live in a nice neighborhood, and you're an 18-year-old player. You probably live next to families and adults, or maybe you buy like fucking land.
The thing that's got to get weird, though, is a lot of these players, if they do transition to play professional football, they're literally going to be taking pay cuts.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
They're going to be taking pay cuts. And then also, too, like this is going to have to trickle over to professional football in the sense where like dealing with these players is going to be a nightmare. Because, they're just used to, well, I'm not getting my way. I'm going to go get a bag somewhere else. And obviously in pro sports, it's not going to work that way. So I don't know. It's a mess.
It is a mess. All right, let's talk some ball. Thank you everybody for joining. By the way, I wanted to fill up some time and let everybody stroll on in. Sandy Plashcock with a new follow. If you are on YouTube, appreciate it if you like the stream and subscribe. Thank you very much. We've got a game tonight. We've got a game tomorrow. I'm going to pull up Pickett here and see.
Yeah, this is really the start of an amazing weekend.
What a weekend, because we've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, NFL. It's a great time to be a sports fan. And if you are betting, bet responsibly as always. I'll pull up ProfitX as well to reference their lines, but this is what we've got on Pickett Pro. According to the splits here, $1.2 million wagered. Looks like most of it's on Miami as of right now.
Is it 3.5 or 3? Because I did see somewhere it went down to 3 this morning.
Well, that's a good question. So Pickett shows us the best line, but what it does sometimes that's kind of annoying is it goes up to a certain juice. So 2.5 minus 130 is not really the line that I want to reference. Let me go to ProfitX and see what it is there. ProfitX, if you sign up, use promo code STAKE for 20% deposit match. These are lines that I like to reference. They're pretty sharp. You can that's
so. If everybody's betting Miami, why is the line going down?
Yeah, that's a good question. -3, minus 110 is pretty firm. You can probably find 3.5 somewhere. Drew, I'll just say right now, I'm going to take Ole Miss. I'm going to take Ole Miss, and I'm a Miami guy. Like I am a Miami respecter. Not going into the season, hand up. I'm not a crystal ball guy, but all it took was that game against Notre Dame to see their size and strength on the offensive line and the defensive line. Because I'd never seen Notre Dame get pushed around like that, ever. And yeah, I got frustrated. I have no issue with the Louisville loss. Truly don't.
Yeah, me either. As a fan, the Louisville loss didn't bother me that much. It was the SMU loss was disgusting.
The SMU loss was disgusting. And I watched that entire game. That was when Notre Dame played Boston College. I was having some black and tans at an Irish pub, and I bet on Miami. And I just couldn't believe how that was after their Louisville loss. Not right after, but after.
I think they played one game, and then it was SMU.
Yeah. They also had a really lethargic first half against Stanford or something where they were like tied or some bullshit.
Yeah. And then they went on to win like by like 40. But yeah, it was like tied or they're only winning by a touchdown at halftime against awful Stanford. Yeah.
But one of the reasons I faded Miami on their win total was those last two games of the regular season, on the road at Pitt, on the road at Virginia Tech. You get a Miami team that didn't leave the state of Florida till I think week 8. And cold climate, kind of think they would stub their toe or shoot themselves in the foot at some point in one of those games. And they didn't. They didn't. They didn't even come close to it. I mean, they really dominated both those games.
Well, that's what perked me up as a Hurricane fan, honestly, was really the Pittsburgh game. Just because I've been watching Miami Hurricane football my entire life, as far back as I can remember, and even loaded Hurricane teams, I'm talking going back 20 plus years ago, they've always struggled in cold weather. Even if it was like a legit Hurricane team back to the early 2000s. I mean, shit, right. That best Hurricane team of all time, the 2001 team, they almost lost at Boston College, which was like a 500 team, but, it was shitty cold weather. So really, when they went into Pitt, and I'm not saying Pitt's a great team, but they're an average team, and they just skull fucked Pitt in cold weather when it was 30 degrees. That's when I perked up. I was like, okay, this team needs to be in the playoff. They're a serious team. It's very rare you see a Florida team, specifically a South Florida team, go in cold weather and just fuck a team up. They mean business. They're ready to go.
Yeah. I agree. And I'm always somebody, most of the followers know this. Like if I'm investing in a team, I like for them to hit a little adversity. And I was just talking about this on another show yesterday with Sura at Owner's Box. If anybody was listening, I was saying how I don't like the Packers vibes going into the playoffs because they lost, 4 games in a row. And I didn't like how they looked against the Vikings, even though they didn't start anybody. And he was like, well, I thought you usually like when teams hit adversity. I do, but I like that bump right before. And that's exactly what I liked from Miami. Now, Miami against Texas A&M, I ended up not taking them. I took the under in that game. That came through. And then unfortunately in the Miami game, all I took was the first half and I took the over. That did not come through. And it didn't come through because Miami's defense was so fucking good. You obviously watch both games at A&M. You win 10-3. It's an ugly field goal.
Yeah, that was a hard game to digest. It was a hard game to figure out. It was so windy. You're playing in Kyle Field. There's so many weird people there. It's just it was a strange game. So many missed field goals. So just happy to survive that game. And then everybody that I was watching the Ohio State game with, I kept saying, I think we're going to know whether we have a chance or not the first drive. And once I saw the first drive, we didn't score any points, but just the physical presence and that we were not outmanned, and actually we were outmanning them. It was like, okay, not only are we gonna, be in this game, we could definitely win this game.
Yeah. By the way, on FanDuel, it's 3.5. Ole Miss is minus 120, 3.5. Total in this game is 52.5. The over is slightly juiced. Thanks for the follow. Clip 2 Icy, by the way.
That's a pretty high over under. Kind of surprising because I think the Oregon Indiana one's only like 48.
Yeah, well, Miami, Ohio State was 40.5, 41.5. And then Ole Miss is certainly what's pushing that number up because their offense is so high power. And then I think that total against Georgia was like 55 or 56. I thought it would be still maybe 49.5, 50. So it's about 2 points higher, I think. And I don't know which team that favors. But that's kind of what I want to talk about. But first, before we talk about this game, what did you think of Ohio State in that Miami game? What was your takeaway? Did they look like they were a little shell shocked by how physical and how good Miami was?
Really, I was following Ryan Day's face. But by mid first quarter, you could tell he was like, we're in trouble. He just looked concerned. It wasn't like, oh, you know what, they're off to a hot start, we got this. He looked concerned. I'm sure when you're standing on the field and you're looking at the line of scrimmage and you're seeing your offensive line like just collapsing. And also kudos to the referees in that game. They called no penalties. I mean, they called some penalties, but it was pretty much a penalty-free game. There were definitely some instances where they could have called personal fouls on Miami. Thank God they didn't, just because Miami was hitting nasty. I mean, they were hitting in the head sometimes. They were like tombstoning guys. They let them play football. So I don't know if we're going to get that again in the Ole Miss game, because obviously if it's a tight game, one personal foul can change the complexion of the game. But really what I took from Ohio State was, they were a little bit shell-shocked. I don't know if they just had the vibe where like, hey, we ran through this playoff last year. We're playing this, cute little Miami team will take care of business. And then they maybe came into it too cocky. And they just kind of bit off more than they could chew. I mean, really, Miami, what shocked me about that, not necessarily Miami won, but not only they win, they kind of dominated the
Yeah.
game. Outside of the first like 10 minutes of the third quarter,
Mm-hmm.
I give that to Ohio State. But really, like 50 of the 60 minutes of the game, Miami was in full control.
Yep. That guy, so the plays that stood out to me, my takeaways in that game were I was really impressed by how poised Carson Beck was. And I like that. Part of the reason I was leaning Miami in that game and the over in that game, thinking Miami's offense would score, was his pants pooping game was Texas A&M, and that was a true road game. Now you're in a neutral. You've already you were battle tested. You beat that team. I kind of like that. And he just looked calm, confident. I like Miami's play calling. And the guy that is emerging, this Mark Fletcher dude, is running. Did he run this well the entire year?
Yeah,
and I just missed it.
Yeah, he had a good season. I was shocked to see he already signed the NIL deal to come back next year.
Wow.
So I'm guessing they must have paid him well to not go to the NFL. The key to the Ohio State game was first down. Every single first down outside of one, and they ended up punting Miami. Every single first down, they were getting 3-4 yards. It was nothing sexy. They were getting nothing explosive, but it was constantly 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. So they were just, Miami doesn't have the type of offense, especially going against NFL defense, Ohio State. They knew that if it's 2nd and 10 regularly, we're going to be punting a lot. Mm-hmm. So the key to that Ohio State game was they were just getting 3-4 yards. And then all of a sudden, if it's 2nd and 6, even if you're going against a tough defense, you got a very good chance to advance the ball. And the other thing I like about Miami's game plan against Ohio State, they were completely content with getting 2 or 3 first downs and punting, because it was just that type of game. It was just that they weren't taking unnecessary shots. They weren't causing turnovers, unnecessary turnovers. They did have one, but that was deep in Ohio State territory. So they played a very, very smart game. They understood their assignment on offense. That listen, our defense is playing lights out. Try to advance the ball, move the ball to midfield, flip the field, get them pinned deep, and hopefully they'll punt the ball back to us at midfield. I love that game plan. I don't think that's going to work, and I don't think that's what they're going to be doing tonight, though.
So do you, in the ranks of, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, like obviously we understand if you just put those teams on paper where they power ranked on who's better, but matchups are always different. Every team
would probably have Ole Miss 3.
So that's what I was going to, right. In terms of like power rankings of just teams on where they're at in the rankings, but matchups, in terms of matchups, you saw a mobile quarterback with Marcel Reed. He's very inaccurate, though.
Ole Miss quarterback's way better.
Yeah, Ole Miss quarterback has been fantastic. He's been lights out. He's a gamer. He can pass. He can run. And then you had a guy like Julian Sain, who's more of a passer, not much of a runner. But you had elite wide receivers with Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, and you handled him. But Ole Miss,
not Jeremiah Smith, really. He had an amazing day. But
that's true. I'm sorry, you're right. I think he had 100 and something yards. I think this running back for Ole Miss is awesome. Kewan Lacey. He's one of my favorites. He had
a big game against Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, he got
100 yards, I think.
He got banged up against Tulane. People were worried about that. He did fuck my first half wager because he fumbled. No big deal. We let him off the hook. But he is awesome. And I thought Ole Miss's defense is a little bit better than people give them credit for. And I understand Georgia found success and scored 30-something points. I still think they're pretty good. They're not. I
feel like they have a decent defensive line, but their back seven is pretty suspect. And I think Miami's going to be taking a lot more shots. Miami threw the ball downfield twice against Ohio State. I think they had 2 passes that were longer than 10 yards the entire game against Ohio State. I'd be shocked if that happens tonight. I think they are definitely going to vertically test Ohio State a bit.
Ole Miss, vertically test.
Sorry, yeah. I not anticipating as much caveman football tonight as we've been seeing from Miami.
Very well said. That's kind of what I was getting at, because I liked when I watched Tulane. I mean, they moved the ball. They had 400 plus yards of offense. They had 20 first downs, but they weren't really finding success running the football. And like that is like your old school SEC defensive front. At least it looks like to me on Ole Miss.
But I mean, it's Tulane's offensive line, though.
Very fair, very fair. But I'm wondering if this isn't, like you just said, that's kind of what I was getting into. This might not be the biggest Mark Fletcher game. This is going to have to be a Carson Beck game, I think. And it's a matter of whether he connects or not. And the last question I want to ask you, Miami's offensive coordinator, he sounds like, sounds like a smart dude, dialed up a great game plan against Ohio State, as you alluded to. Is he an aggressive guy? Can he be an aggressive guy? And do you trust him in this game?
He could be so at the end of the year he changed a bit. I think Miami got into some trouble in the middle of the year because he was being overly aggressive. In particular, in that Louisville game, they kept throwing the ball downfield, which led to Carson Beck throwing a ton of interceptions. Where if they played it more safe, they would have won a boring game. So I think he's learned his lesson. I am expecting more of an aggressive attack tonight, though, just because I think the opportunities are going to be there. Tony's been held in check. I don't think they can hold him in check at Ole Miss. And I think Miami's going to have to score points. Their offense scored 17 points against Ohio State, and their offense scored 10 points against Texas A&M. That's not going to work. That's not going to be enough offense to beat Ole Miss tonight because Ole Miss, is going to get some points.
Yeah.
And then also, too, the thing I'm looking forward to tonight is I think Carson Beck has definitely been disrespected because it's just a foregone conclusion. You hear everybody say, well, he's definitely the worst quarterback of the 4 quarterbacks remaining. It's just like, well, I mean, this guy's had a pretty good career. He's 18-3 against ranked teams in his career. Does he get no credit for that?
Yeah.
And I understand this Ole Miss quarterback has been unbelievable, but he's still pretty new to the party, is he not?
Yeah.
So let's see how he does against Miami's defense tonight before we crown him.
Yeah. I'm gonna play Ole Miss with the points. I'm not gonna play him on the money line. I lean Ole Miss, but I respect Miami enough that
does it not concern you at all, though, the coaching aspect? Because keep in mind the coaching aspect, I think, was not a big deal these past 2 games because they were 2 rematches. So they already had all the scouting, they already had all the game planning done. You're right. They already played Tulane, they already played Georgia. I think that was an enormous advantage for the coaching chaos that this program is unfortunately experiencing. Now you're playing an opponent that you have no familiarity with. And half of your offensive coaching staff, for some reason, has been going back and forth with LSU. Some of them never even came back from LSU after the Georgia game. So is tonight the night where it kind of shows itself? And also keep in mind, Miami had an extra day to prepare and rest. Miami had 8 days rest. Ole Miss is only 7 days. So is that concerning to you at all?
Yeah, sure. I'd be an idiot to tell you it's not. Although, if you want me to go against the grain a little bit, I kind of like how Ole Miss as a team gets this like boost in a way of like, all right, Lane's out. Everybody's kind of doubting us. A few more coaches just left because I think their obligation January 1st is they have to start working for LSU. Like, it's this fucking makeshift coaching situation. So the players are just going to take it upon themselves. Now, we did see in that Georgia game, there was a coaching blunder in the end of that first half. I don't know if you remember. I think the half expired. They didn't get to line up for they had to play in bounds. They didn't have a timeout. They didn't end up getting a field goal. So there's real, effects to this, but the players are responding so well. And the fact they came back and beat Georgia, I don't know that coaching is going to get in the way. But you make a very, legitimate point that I think is hard to ignore. There's certainly an edge towards Miami there. Here's a really good question. And Mike McDaniel got fired. We'll talk about the head coaches in the NFL here in a bit. I want to finish up on this. Miami got 2 interceptions in both playoff games. Will they get Trinidad to throw a couple? Miami team total over could be the play. How many QBs left have won a national title? Next question. Beck passing line is kind of telling. Oh, that's right. Apparently I fucked up. Ole Miss's run defense is bad. Mark Fletcher line 93.5. I'd probably go with my football brain there and take the under, but I'm not going to do it. I don't have access to college football player props. Here's the snowman question. Is Drew not concerned about the coaching aspect that Cristobal hasn't had his signature choke yet?
Well, listen, I mean, I've never been a Cristobal slurper. It's not like I love the guy, but I mean, even in the games that we lost this year, I don't know if I could even blame Cristobal for them. I mean, I guess he should have got on the offensive coordinator about stop being so aggressive in the Louisville game. And nothing really stood out from a coaching aspect as to, like, I don't recall an enormous coaching blunder in the SMU game outside of we had tons of penalties that day. I think we had over 10 penalties that day, which is very uncharacteristic for us.
Right.
But yeah, he is known as a notorious choker. Mario looks very focused on the sideline, though. I loved his energy against Ohio State. He was very serious. He had veins popping out. He was screaming at officials. He was screaming at players. I think he's locked in.
McKiffin says Mario is this year's Ryan Day. Everyone said last year Ryan Day is eventually going to choke, and he just didn't. I could see it.
Yeah, I could see that too. I will say this. If Ole Miss just competes tonight, if they just compete tonight and they only lose by 3 points, or if they somehow win tonight, how shitty does this make Lane Kiffin look? Because then, you're basically telling me, he's getting all this fucking money and he left. and and then all of a sudden Ole Miss just beats Georgia and Miami, or at least competes very well with Miami without him there. Like, what value does Lane Kiffin have?
Well, I guess the value he has is he was there for. It's not like he left in week 6. So I mean, he built this team, and now they're kind of
He looks like a scumbag. Let's be honest.
100%.
He looks like a scumbag. Be really with what he's doing with the assistant coaches. I need somebody in the chat, if anybody could explain to me why Lane Kiffin needs the tight ends coach and the running backs coach and the offensive line coach. Why does he need these guys at LSU right now?
Recruiting? No, recruiting's over. Selling on transfers, maybe. I don't know.
But I mean, like, okay, then join via Zoom. Like, hey, you know what, man? I need you available on Zoom tonight. Talk to a few kids. Like, is any recruit or transfer portal guy like, oh man, I didn't meet the running backs coach in person. I'm not going to LSU anymore. He's just being a douchebag.
Yeah. Colin
it's very douchey. It's very douchey.
Lane built the team. I agree. I don't have any issue with the guy taking the job. It is what it is in college football. It's a college football issue, not a Lane issue, taking the LSU job. But yeah,
it's douchey what he's done with the assistant coaches. He should have said when he got the LSU job, he should have said, you know what, I'm taking these coaches and they're with me now. Or you know what, they're seeing it through. But this back and forth, I think it fucks Ole Miss. Okay, do I listen to my running backs coach because he's here today? But then do I listen to another coach because he's not going to be here tomorrow? I think it's pretty shitty.
Yep. I just want to address something real quick because sometimes I know we don't have the appropriate definition or the accurate definition of sharp and whatnot. Colin says Pickett Sports is fake. Miami is the sharp side. Colin, I just want you to know, just because a team has more money on them, it does not mean they are not sharp. In fact, that would mean they're sharp if the line is moving that way, which it is. I believe Miami opened 2.5. They are now 3 or 3.5 most places. So by definition, Miami is in fact the sharp side, and you could just see it there with more money being on the team. So I don't think
it definitely makes me nervous that like the big talking heads, I was looking, for bad mojo, and unfortunately there's some there because Colin Cowherd, Josh Pate, David Pollock. I'm forgetting a few others. They're all picking Miami.
Really?
Yeah. I can't find any big name that hasn't picked Miami.
Well, and again, and Colin, good job. Got it. Agree. Appreciate it. I always like having a back and forth with people who just have an understanding. I don't know everything either, but somebody, I said, I think Ole Miss is a live dog tonight. And somebody tried to say, no, just the public wins too, just because Miami's public, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not even saying that they're a trendy or non-trendy dog. I just think they're live. And you know what? I got to tell you, I don't even really know, now that I think about it, that I've really heard people take much of a stance on this game. But now that you mentioned that, it's interesting. I was curious to know where more people would be. I've heard
all the big talking eggs. They're not only picking Miami, they're picking Miami to cover.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's so weird. I know it's only a 3.5 point spread. I have more confidence in Miami. I have more I can see Miami winning the national championship more than I can see Ole Miss, but I can just see Ole Miss being one of the toughest teams to play in a semifinal. And for that reason, I have to put my money on them.
Miami needs to get it done, though, because they have gone through the gauntlet to make it this far and then not to get to the title. And knowing your reward is you get to play for the title at home.
Oh, did Drew just freeze for anybody?
Hey.
Oh, hold on, Drew. You just froze for a second. You said Miami gets yeah, you're fine. You're back down. Miami gets to play the national title at home. And then you said nobody and then froze.
Oh, I was just curious if you knew that the national title game was in Miami.
I did not.
Yeah. So, I mean, to make it this far and know that you are playing a team that, has a lot of chaos going on, to not seal the deal to get to play in your home stadium for a national title, it would be a real kick in the nuts. It'd be way more of a letdown losing tonight than say, oh, you know what, we lost to a buzzsaw Ohio State team that everybody says is the best team in the country. That one would have been an easier pill to swallow. Losing tonight would be an enormous kick in the nuts. And another thing that has got me a little concerned is people who break down film and whatnot. They say SMU is a bit of a poor man's Ole Miss. And obviously we lost to SMU. And I saw an interview with Rhett Lashley, SMU's coach, And, they're asking him, how were you successful against Miami? He said, my whole game plan in the first half wasn't necessarily to score a lot of points and get a lead. It was to tire Miami's defense out. He said all they did in the first half was run sideline to sideline. They kept, just throwing and running plays that were making Miami just run to both sides of the field. So I'm sure Ole Miss is going to try to mimic that, because that's what happened in the SMU game. Is the defense got gassed in the second half on top of a ton of penalties.
Very good point. There will be more IU fans there than Miami fans, by the way. Snowman, would you shut the fuck up? I'm rolling with Chambliss because he came from D2. Shout out to the PSAC and is currently balling. It's hard not to root for Chambliss for sure, but I'm finding it hard not to root for Miami. I mean, I love the way this defense is playing. I love the way Mark Fletcher is running, and I just like the way Carson Beck seems poised and experienced. And he's not playing. He's not playing like he did in Louisville, and that is what you cannot have happen for Carson Beck. And the haters will be screaming from the mountaintops. So let's get your final score prediction. Let's talk a little Indiana,
sure.
Oregon. And
my final score prediction, I'm going to go 30-24 Miami. So I'm going to say they win and they cover. And just to give you how I see the game playing out, is I see it being like, never that Miami's up by a ton, but they're always kind of in control. Like, I see it as, let's say the score is maybe 30-17 with like a minute left, and Ole Miss gets a touchdown, and we're all waiting on an onside kick to see if they're going to recover it. And Miami recovers it, and they end up winning the game 30-24. That's my prediction. Okay. All right.
Indiana, Oregon. Let's talk about this game a little bit. And I don't expect you to be any sort of expert on either of these teams, but obviously you know ball, and have followed them at least up until this point. But Indiana on Profit X is, I'm actually surprised to see this. They are 3.5 even money. For the most part, I've seen 4.5 almost all week. So if you like Indiana, that seems like that might be the best number. You can get Oregon at 4 or 4.5. Let's see. -125 on FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, 4.5. Total in this one's a little bit lower, as you mentioned, around 48. Are you drinking the Hoosier Kool-Aid, or do you think that Oregon is getting disrespected?
Oh, I think Indiana's getting disrespected. I texted you earlier in the week. I don't understand this line. Maybe I'm the fool, but why is this line not -5, -6 Indiana? Indiana listen, if you took Indiana's logo off, if their logo was Ohio State, if their logo was, Texas, if their logo was Michigan, everybody would just say this team is an all-time team, potentially. This team is clearly the favorite to win the national title, clearly. I mean, I don't really understand the line. I mean, they already went to Oregon and they won by double digits, did they not?
They won by 10, 30-20. Yep.
And then, I mean, Oregon, they didn't look that great against Texas Tech. I mean, their offense was pretty rough. I mean, I can't say they didn't look that great because they pitched a shutout against Texas Tech. So kudos to their defense. But I mean, you're telling me you get 4 turnovers and you only score 23 points, and you supposedly have the best quarterback or second best quarterback in this year's NFL draft? I don't really get it. If anything, it makes me nervous as an Indiana backer that this line isn't 5 or 6 points. Because again, if you took Indiana's, if you swapped their helmet with Ohio State helmets, this line would probably be -8.
No, that's a very good point. The Pickett Sharps, as we like to call them, are betting on Indiana, which would make sense. I mean, I think I get what you're saying. The line's shorter than you expected. Do the odds makers know something? Are they disrespecting Indiana? Are they respecting Oregon? We're not entirely sure. I will tell you this. I thought, and apparently I was in the minority, when we opened up the sports book last week and we talked about these games, I was shocked to see Oregon was a 2-point favorite over Texas Tech. Texas Tech was the conference champion. They were 11-1, and they had basically solidified themselves as being like, all right, they're a big boy school. Like, they've got the talent, they've got the players. We've made it through 12 games. They're legit. Even though there was some speculation of like how tough was the Big 12 schedule, yada, yada.
I think we learned the Big 12 was dog shit.
We did learn that. And I want everybody to shut the fuck up about BYU being legitimate. But anyways, Oregon comes in, and it wasn't sexy, but they did dominate that game, at least defensively. But you're right. They didn't do much on offense. They went for it on 4th down multiple times, didn't get it. It gave Texas Tech horrible field position. I think that was a lot more about Texas Tech not being able to do anything offensively than it was Oregon really doing anything that impressive. I think it was 6-0 at halftime, 9-0 at halftime. Oregon couldn't even get in the end zone.
In their defense, kind of a weird spot playing noon and New Year's Day when you're a West Coast team. So keep in mind that's 9 a.m. what they're accustomed to, right? So kind of just a weird spot, weird game, not a very fun game to watch. So, I give them the offense a pass, I guess, but still, Indiana, they are checking every single box. I mean, they have just looked like a flawless team. They don't make a mistake. They don't make any mistakes. They average 3 penalties a game. That's their average on the year. It's like 3.2 penalties per game. They don't turn the football over. They don't miss tackles. They do, all the non-sexy things perfect. The things that, like, nobody wants to break down, like the no penalties, no turnovers. They do all of that perfect to a T. So, like, if they're not going to turn the ball over and they're going to have 2 or 3 penalties, how do you beat them?
I don't know. I love Kurt Signetti. I absolutely love him. I mean, he kind of just reminds me of a war general. And
he doesn't, and like, he doesn't, like when they beat the shit out of Alabama, there's no celebration.
No, right.
It's like we expect this shit. You know what I mean? You would think like Miami, obviously they keep celebrating after they beat A&M, after they beat Ohio State. They're celebrating like they won the national title. It's been so many years since we've had any success. Indiana's had virtually no success too, of course, but they are like, hey, you know what? We expected to win the Rose Bowl by 35 points. So he has got that team just on another level of focus. And another thing about Indiana that I learned about them that is gaming the system a little bit, not to take credit away, but I read the average player in Indiana is like 22 years old.
Oh, interesting.
So they are a very old team.
Sounds a bit wise. Please don't disrespect Signetti. That is with a C, not an S. Treating CFB like he's a mob boss. Kind of agree. I wouldn't want to fuck with him. And if you told me he's ordered some bodies to be sent out to the marsh, I probably wouldn't argue with you.
What are your thoughts on Dante Moore? Because as we'll talk about later, a little NFL. I haven't seen enough from this guy to warrant him being the 2nd overall pick. Some people are even saying maybe he'll be the number 1 overall pick. What are your thoughts on him?
I think that would be ridiculous. Here's where I'm at. So what I did, and I tweeted this, and I got attacked by a couple of Oregon fans. I go through and I watch spring games for about 5 or 6 teams, and I wasn't unimpressed with Dante Moore, but I wasn't impressed with Dante Moore. Just watching him, the way he moves, the way he sees the field, the way he throws the football. I elected to fade Oregon because I actually thought Oregon's schedule was pretty challenging. Going on the road to Penn State, going on the road to Iowa, like the travel, going to Northwestern, not that they're a tough team, but they were doing a lot of east to west. And I was like, you know what? Some of their home games weren't cupcakes, But they went over their win total. They squeaked by. They beat Penn State in overtime. They beat Iowa on the road on the last drive. They got their ass kicked to Indiana. I needed one more loss. Didn't get there. But do I think the read was that bad? No, I really don't. They were down a lot of weapons from what I understand. They were missing a lot of their wide receivers. Their running game is fantastic. They have a good offensive line. They have good running backs. Dante Moore is in a really good setup to be successful. And he doesn't do it for me. Like the eye test for me is from a standpoint of start to finish in a football game, he doesn't blow me away. However, if I was to give Dante Moore some credit, it would be this. When you need Dante Moore to make a big play, he does make a big play more often than not. And for that reason, it's hard for me to criticize Dante Moore. But do I think he's number 1 pick in the draft? Absolutely not.
I'm not even criticizing him. I'm just like, it feels like kind of came out of nowhere where people are talking, it's a shoe and he's number 2. And some scouts might even like him number 1. And the other thing that scares me a little bit is he's 20 years old. He doesn't turn 21 until mid-May. So, I mean, I don't know, a 21-year-old going to a dog shit situation, whether it's the Jets or the Raiders, I mean, sounds like an absolute nightmare.
I'll say this. I think the reason Dante Moore is climbing up a little bit on draft boards has more to do with people maybe not believing in Mendoza and Ty Simpson being legitimate.
Ty Simpson. I mean, why is he declaring? I mean,
I don't know.
I would not take him. I would not take him until like the 3rd round at best.
I think he shows tangibles. He's a smart guy. He shows tangibles of being a good quarterback, but he is way too erratic. Way too erratic.
Do you not agree that Mendoza is Kirk Cousins?
Oh my God. I can't believe we didn't talk about this yet. He is a little Kirk Cousins, except a little bit more hyper. He's more Kirk Cousins. You like that. But in a nice, friendly.
I mean, Kirk Cousins had a hell of an NFL career. It's not saying he's going to be a bust, but I expect Mendoza to be a good NFL quarterback. Not great. I don't think he's going to be like a top 5 quarterback, but I think he's going to be like Kirk Cousins was in his prime.
He is a bit more mobile. You know what Fernando Mendoza could be? He could be a Drake May because he's got high football IQ. He can move. And he does throw a nice ball. He's got accuracy. But I'm kind of with you. You know the reason that we're kind of dog Mendoza is his interviews. He seems like such a freaking little kid.
I know he looks a little stiff in the pocket to me. When I watch him play, it kind of reminds me of Kirk Cousins. He's accurate, a little stiff in the pocket, doesn't wow you. He's certainly clutch. You know, in that Penn State game, he had an amazing clutch drive. So I'm not taking anything away from him. Listen, Kirk Cousins has been a good NFL quarterback for 10 years. So, but I just don't see him as a lead. I think if Arch Manning came out, he would be the number one pick without a doubt.
You think he should be the number one pick?
Yeah, I think if he declared this year with the way Arch Manning finished the season, he would go one over both these guys.
Man, that's hard for me to say.
If you were the Raiders or the Jets, you wouldn't rather have Arch Manning than either one of these two?
I don't know. I don't know if I can say for certain that Arch Manning is the better prospect than Fernando Mendoza right now. I don't know if I could say that. And I will say Arch Manning impressed me at the end of the season, and I was critical of him. I mean, for 6 games, he looked terrible. Terrible.
But I kind of like that, though. I like that. I like that he got some adversity. I like that he got his nose bloodied and he bounced back from that.
I agree. You know what? The way Arch Manning ended his season was like how Miami ended their season. And I'm with you, but I think next year's Arch Manning, like, I don't care what he is to win the Heisman. I think this guy is going to have an insane college football year. I think he's going to have an insane year.
I'm just saying, if he did declare, I think he would be going over both these guys.
This is a good way to put it. He got humbled, and I like the way he responded. And you know what? I kind of like the way he went into a meaningless fucking bowl game, put his dick down, beat the fuck out of Michigan. Michigan sucks. Sorry if any Michigan fans are in here. But he was also talking shit on the sideline, like maybe I shouldn't give a I don't know. I kind of like that. I did kind of like that.
I think he has way higher upside than either one of these quarterbacks.
No, I do not think that is a Skip Bayless take. I don't think so. I think it's fair. Because Fernando Mendoza is not like far and away the number one pick. He's got concerns, and I've heard it from a lot of people. So I would keep anybody honest, especially Drew. I don't think that is a Skip Bayless take.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
I mean, listen, only time will tell, but we'll see. I think in 4 or 5 years, Arch Manning will clearly be the better NFL quarterback than either one of these two.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a couple years, I think Ty Simpson could be a good quarterback. I really do. Yeah, I really do. Not right now. The same way, Drew, I feel about JJ McCarthy. I couldn't believe people thought JJ McCarthy was going to come out.
I don't think JJ McCarthy is going to be a good NFL quarterback.
You don't?
No.
I do. I do. I think these guys are young. Look how much time it took like Sam Darnold to be a good quarterback. It takes time. These kids are young. The systems are complex in the NFL. I think in the right, and it also depends on the right situation. Can I see Fernando Mendoza being in Las Vegas? Fuck no. Like, I don't even know who I could see being in Las Vegas, but I can see Arch Manning a little bit more.
The other thing that I want to push back on a little bit is a lot of people are saying, oh, Dante Moore, and I'm not even saying the Jets should be fired up about taking him, but oh, Dante Moore shouldn't have come out because the Jets are such a clusterfuck. Well, who would want to go there? Are the Raiders that much better? What is so great about the Raiders? They're a complete dog shit franchise too. What have they done? Everyone is trying to say, oh, Dante Moore, don't come out. Stay another year in college. You don't want to go to the Jets. Why would you want to go to the Raiders? What exactly do the Raiders have going for them?
I really don't know, and that's a very good take. And I know Drew is a Jets fan, by the way, but he's a very down-to-earth Jets fan. He used to be a little bit more miserable 10 years ago, but I would say this. The Raiders are in position to potentially make some very good decisions and put a good foundation together if the rumors end up coming true. This is not going to happen.
What rumors?
Well, the rumors that they want to throw everything at Brian Flores to either be the head coach or defensive coordinator, and they have their pick at who they want to run the offense. What if they get Brian Daboll?
Okay, that's really that exciting to you?
Well, Daboll's a better
Brian Flores or Brian Daboll? That's getting you hard.
Who do the Jets got?
Nothing. Well, I'll tell you what the Jets got. They got a lot more. They got a lot more draft picks, and they probably got more money too. More
than Al Davis. I mean, Al Davis.
I'm talking about salary cap.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You have
Well,
to have a
Vegas has a
salary
dome.
cap in the NFL. You can't just spend unlimited money. I mean, keep in mind the Jets have the number 2 pick, the number 16 pick, because the stupid fucking Colts gave us their first round draft pick this year and next year. So the Jets have a shit ton of draft capital. They got a lot of money to spend. I'm not saying the Jets are in a good situation, but these people are making out like, oh, no, you don't want to go to the Jets. You can't tell me the Jets situation is that much worse than the Raiders. Sorry. And you got Tom Brady fucking, trying to run a franchise while he's doing pizza commercials and he's calling NFL games and he's doing fucking pyramid schemes and he's crying about his wife banging somebody else. Like, I don't know. The Raiders are kind of a mess.
Yeah, I think that whole Tom Brady thing is a little weird. You know what? I don't really agree with this. Bowers and Gentry, dude, the Raiders have a horrible offensive line. I think the Jets have a better offensive line.
Jets have a better O-line. They got Garrett Wilson locked up. Mason Taylor showed some promise as being a decent tight end.
Breece Hall.
And Breece Hall, we don't know if he's going to come back. Hopefully he does, but it's not guaranteed he's coming back.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree. I think in terms of like who is on the offense right now, I think I'd give the nod to the Jets. Bad take. Jets OL is actually pretty solid. Wait, I think they're saying his is a bad take, not yours. Any sane person who prefer to be in Vegas than the Jets? Really? People, I don't know. I think there's an argument to be made that the Jets would be a better situation. All right. Did you think the Jets should fire Aaron Glenn?
Yes, they should have, but I understand why they didn't. And then also too, like, to talk a little about NFL coaching carousel. I mean, these coaching candidates are fucking awful. So, I mean, both of our teams, the Jets and Bucks, you could definitely make the case they both should have fired their coaches. There'd be no pushback for either case, why they wouldn't. But when you see Matt Nagy, that fucking guy who coached the Cowboys, that weirdo, Jason Garrett. I mean, these are the guys that are getting coaching interviews right now.
The fact that Matt Nagy is getting a coaching interview makes me want to protest. Like, I want to march. I don't know where to march.
The thing that you're going to love, that's going to blow your mind. Have you seen the thing going around where saying flirting versus harassment, and they show Harbaugh's resume versus Mike McCarthy? Have you seen that?
No.
They have the same exact resume. Actually, McCarthy's is a little better.
No shit.
Wins, losses, division titles, Super Bowls. It's like literally a carbon copy. Just McCarthy's just a tiny bit better.
Well, I guess the outlier there is Joe Flacco. McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers.
Right. But I mean, how many years, you hear coming into a season, the Ravens supposedly have the best 53-man roster in the NFL.
True.
I can't tell you how many years I heard that. I don't know if I heard that this year, but a lot of seasons you hear, oh, the Ravens, man, everything's loaded. They have no flaws. They're like the perfect team. So, yeah, I just thought it was funny because everybody loves Harbaugh and everybody hates Mike McCarthy, but they have the same resume, the same exact resume. So it's a funny meme going around saying flirting versus harassment, showing both their resumes.
I have a position. I think that when a guy, how am I trying to say this? I think when someone is in a position and in a job for 18 years, it's
a long fucking
time. I think they've run their course. I think they've run their course. And I saw Tony Dungy like coming to defense, like, oh, he was one kick away from winning the division. They've made the playoffs. They've done this. They've done that. Let me tell you whose opinion I do not give a fuck about, and that is Tony Dungy. What do we care anymore in this day and age in 2026? What old farts have to say about it? I mean, things are evolving so much and so quickly. At the same time, I don't want to go all the way down and take a fucking shithead 21-year-old Gen Z opinion, but I also don't need a fucking 80-year-old Tony Dungy. Meet me somewhere in the middle. And I don't think there is any uproar for Jim Harbaugh. Which one is it? I always forget.
I believe it's John.
John.
Yeah.
I got no problem with John getting canned. See you later. You did a great job. You just there's a squeeze that just like an orange. You squeeze it. There's no more juice left. But I don't know that, like, if I'm the Giants or if I'm the Titans, if I'm like, get me the phone and get me John Harbaugh. We got to get this guy. It's like, dude, he's getting on the wrong side of like where he's.
I think places like the Titans and the Cardinals should, just because their organizations are such disasters. I'm not saying that like he's going to make them amazing, but like he would at least get those franchises to be like respectable. You know what I mean? They would at least be
Sure.
7, 8 win teams. They wouldn't be a disgrace, right?
Sure.
They would have an identity. Like, I mean, I can't tell you anything about the Arizona Cardinals. I can't tell you a single thing about them. So I think they should absolutely write him a blank check, let him be in charge of everything, just to at least make them hopefully average.
Yeah. By the way, Matty Chuck's good to see you in here. I think he said something that was worth noting. The division was also way weaker for McCarthy. Yeah, the Lions sucked, the Bears sucked.
Yeah, listen, if you're telling me gun to my head, would I rather have Harbaugh or McCarthy? For sure, Harbaugh. But I'm just saying, it may not be as lopsided as everybody makes it out to be. That's all.
Right. Ramble, I did not see the sub bang you gave. I appreciate it. I don't know if you're still in here 53 minutes ago. Really appreciate that. Graylish Cavs with a stream streak. Crutch Bets with a stream streak. Only Casper stream streak. Nikki Gambles. Mr. Carter with a new follow. Appreciate you. Good take from Drew. It's John, the other one here with enough. Yeah, well, here's the question. So let's pretend that we're the Browns or the Titans. I get what you're saying. Like, let's get a serious guy in here. Let's get serious. Like the experiment with Brian Callahan just never made any sense. And I faded it right out of the fucking gate. Like I took the Titans win total under for 3 units a couple years ago. I don't like nepotism when a guy hasn't proved himself. And I just thought a guy that's like, oh, he was the offensive coordinator in the Bengals. Well, it's like, okay, you got Joe Burrow. And Zach Taylor is an offensive guy. His offensive
mind, yeah.
But what the fuck is Brian Callahan doing? Holding a fucking clipboard and a headset? Shut the fuck up. The Titans are ran by the biggest morons I have ever seen.
Yeah, they let Vrabel go. The Titans is probably the least attractive job just in terms of like their management. It's a disaster. And I don't think they even give a fuck about football. What they're most excited about there in Tennessee is they're getting a new stadium so they can host Taylor Swift concerts.
Yeah, dude. Nashville stock for me is dropping. Also, the Bengals are an absolute fucking disaster. The fact that they didn't fire Zach Taylor blows my mind.
Not only that, Zach Taylor, they're bringing everybody back. Everybody, the defense
Al
staff.
Golden.
Yeah, not even just Al Golden, like his assistant coaches. They're running it all back. They're not even saying, you know what, fuck it. We got to at least get rid of the linebacker and offensive line coach. Not that that does anything, but that's insane that they're just bringing everybody back. Like how could what we just witnessed this year be acceptable to say, you know what, bring everybody back?
Matty Chucks, appreciate you. Just gave out 10 subs. Thank you very much for the subs. Legendary run. Keep up the DGen stock or fake shop. Still confused. It is confusing. We are the Fake Sharp Network now. I am Jeff Sunday, but you can call me whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. It's going way up. Happy to 2026. Keep it rocking. Thank you very much.
Well, let me ask you this, just to bring a little organization. What would you say? Let's start with, okay, what is the best job? And then let's rank it best to worst. Like if you were an available coaching candidate, what would be sexiest to you, and what would be like, you know what, I just want to stay where I'm at?
It's a great question. What are the jobs?
So you got the Cardinals, you got the Titans, you got the Browns, you got the Giants,
and the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Okay.
The Ravens. And did somebody say that the Dolphins fired their coach this morning while we were on stream?
Oh, my God. Yeah, we got to talk about that. You know what? I got to take a piss. This is a great question. Why don't we take a quick break?
Right.
Let's take a quick piss break. Guys, stay here. Thank you. Oh, my God. T-Bone Steak gave out another 10 subs. T-Bone Steak, you're the fucking man. Steak is not here. His burner just gave out some subs. Dolphins as of 10 minutes ago. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Put it on the board. We will. I'll erase the CBB board that we went through yesterday. I'll do this side of it. Clemson POD. Vandy came through. Bang. You love to see it. Steak dog of the day. Never had a fucking pulse. Shout out Steak though.
Hurricane basketball is hot. They beat Wake Forest last night.
I know. I took Wake Forest. God damn it. Sorry about that. We're gonna talk NFL head coaches, head coaching vacancies, rank the best job. We're gonna take a quick piss break for a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after these words. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Okay, thank you for your patience. Drew is almost back. Boom, Drew is back. And there he is. All right.
Did you guys Falcons. Leave?
What's that?
We forgot the Falcons.
All right. Here we go. You're still with us today. Thank you. We are going to be talking some NHL head coaching vacancies, and ranking them. Let's do it. Let's get to the board. Hold on. Where did my marker go? Oh, God damn it. I must have taken it with me.
Were you surprised that Raheem Morris got fired?
No. Wasn't. Were you?
Yes, I was. Because I thought it was impressive how they finished the season.
Yeah.
I thought he deserved another year. And also, too, in his defense, I mean, with their quarterback situation, isn't 8 wins enough?
Well,
I mean, what other coach is winning more than 8 games with the clusterfuck? And then isn't that more the GM's fault than his?
Yes. How about this? How about I give Raheem Morris this? I don't think Raheem Morris is a good coach, frankly. I don't think he gets the best out of his team. I think he's a good defensive coordinator. But
couldn't the team easily quit? They were, 4-8?
Yeah.
They could have, and we were at the bar. They got absolutely skull fucked by the Seahawks, right? That one day at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, this team's just going to collapse. And then they won the rest of their games. I thought that was enough to save his job.
No. You got a good point. McKiffin says the Falcons defense was actually really solid. Yeah, I do think that the GM had to go. By the way, thanks again to Matty Chucks and T-Bone Steak for the 20 subs. You guys are awesome. I do like what they did with the defense though. Do you remember coming into this season, they didn't have a pass rush. And so they drafted 2 defensive ends. They traded up for one, and James Pierce Jr. was awesome. Shout out to our guy Corn. He's got a defensive rookie of the year, pretty good number. I don't know that he's going to win. I like that they did that. But the GM getting fired is okay with me. I would rank him ahead of, he's got to go ahead of Raheem, because the quarterback situation was it just made no sense. It was just so stupid. All right. Ranking the NFL head coaching positions. I don't know if anybody can see this. So
Gotta go Baltimore number 1, right?
Well, here's the question, Drew. What if Lamar Jackson's leaving?
I'd be surprised if they got rid of Harbaugh just to get rid of Lamar. If they were going to get rid of Lamar, I think they would have kept Harbaugh.
Well, here's who we have again. We have ATL, we have Miami, we have Baltimore, we have Arizona, we have Cleveland, and what was the other one we have? Raiders. Does that look right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right?
Do you have the Giants on there?
No. 7. Jeez.
I think it's 7.
All right. Well, that's what we have. Okay. I think Atlanta's a pretty good one.
Well, if Lamar Jackson's returning, Baltimore's better.
100% sure.
Well, let's just go under that assumption. Because, I mean, who's Atlanta's quarterback?
Okay, fine. But let me push back on this. Derrick Henry's getting old.
Right.
Their defense is not very good. And who are their receivers? Like Rashad Bateman was a bust. Andrews is getting older. You got Zay Flowers. And also you got to think about it this, because remember, we're ranking head coaching positions. Are we factoring in the city?
Right.
Or are we just doing the team? Let's just do the team and the ownership.
Yeah,
right. Because that's unfair. That's unfair.
Well, if you go by ownership and stability and GM, it's Baltimore number 1.
All right.
I'm fine putting Atlanta way up there. You could put Atlanta too. But I don't think you could put Atlanta over Baltimore right now.
Okay. So Baltimore number 1. It's definitely Baltimore. Zay Flowers had 1,200 yards this year. Fine. Giants, without a doubt, best situation.
No, not the Giants. Their GM is a fucking disaster. It's a disgrace that they didn't fire their GM. An absolute disgrace their GM is coming back. So, no, I don't have the Giants as top 3 by any means.
Dude, we forgot Tennessee.
Okay, well, they're very forgettable. Man, that's a lot of openings. You see, this is why Todd Bowles kept his job, dude. There's so many openings, and it's not a great it's not a great slate of coaches available. It's really not.
Yeah,
I can't
no.
even think of 8 coaches that can qualify for an NFL head coaching job right now.
Okay, so Atlanta's gone. The next best option.
Atlanta's not gone. You didn't put them on there.
Sorry, I meant Baltimore. Baltimore is gone. So we have Atlanta, Miami, Arizona, Tennessee, Cleveland, Vegas, the Giants. I do not think the Giants are one of the best positions out there.
No.
I think Atlanta or you've got a really good defense with Cleveland. You've got Quinshad Judkins. I'm not saying Sanders is the guy. I'm not, but he showed something. Harold Fannin. You got a division that's kind of in shambles, maybe. Rodgers is old. What's going on with Baltimore? We don't know. I'm just saying I'm not ruling out Cleveland. Vegas, we don't know what the fuck they're doing. Arizona, what do you have with Arizona? You've got a defense that's kind of improving, but also not really. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., you have Trey McBride, you've got James Conner.
It's not Arizona. Jesus Christ. We could leave Arizona alone.
Okay. All right.
It's Atlanta. There's nobody close to Atlanta. Atlanta.
I fucking say it. I wanted to put Atlanta 1. I was waiting for you. Atlanta. I mean, who doesn't like Arthur Blank? We like Arthur Blank. They got a nice stadium. They got cheap concessions. I like the Atlanta Falcons in that regard. For everything else, you got London, you got Bijan. The quarterback situation is a little bit of a mess, but whatever. Atlanta number 2. Okay, here's where it starts to get spicy. Who's number 3? Is it Miami? Is it Cleveland? Is it the Giants? Let's talk about Miami. Their ownership sucks, don't they?
Well, they just make a lot of bad decisions.
They got rid of the GM, Chris Greer.
He was there forever. He was there for like 20 years. You know what's crazy about the Dolphins? You know they haven't won a playoff game since the year 2000?
Well, that's a long time.
They have not won a playoff game since the year 2000. People love to dog the Jets, deservedly so, because the Jets haven't been in the playoffs since 2010. But what's worse, not making the playoffs since 2010 or not winning a playoff game since the year 2000?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like getting to the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, going to Kansas City and losing in fucking 0-degree weather is not fun.
No. I mean, the Dolphins do have some talent. They have some pieces, but I would not rank them number 3. I would not. No.
People are saying the Giants is the easy answer here. Are we sure about that? Well, actually hold on. I don't like their GM shown. I think that guy might be a fucking idiot.
And I also don't know how good Jackson Dart is. I really don't.
Well, I like Jackson Dart. I like Cam Scatterbo. I like Malik Neighbors. And you know what I do like? I like that their team, their players were playing hard down the stretch. If you look, you want to talk about Raheem Morris getting Atlanta to play. If you look at those teams, Drew, they went 1-4 in a stretch of playing the Eagles twice, the Niners, the Bears, and the Packers. Like, that was pretty impressive. And then to the end of the season, they beat all the dog shit teams. They beat the Raiders.
Which completely fucked them. They went from having the second pick. Yeah.
But if you watch them play, which granted I only watched on Red Zone, but there were guys that were out there that were like, you know what, this is my job and I'm going to fucking earn my paycheck. And I really like that about them. So there are things to like about the Giants for sure. I would be fine putting them at 3 or 4. Because I think they're better than other alternatives here. I think it comes down to Cleveland and the Giants for the next 2 spots. So which do you think is better? If you're a head coach, Quinshon, Shador, or Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterbo, what do you think?
I think I go Cleveland.
Really?
I think I go Cleveland. They have a nasty defense, and there are some pieces there on offense. And as you mentioned, the division's in flux. Whereas, the Giants, the Eagles aren't going anywhere.
James Daniels going to be healthy next year.
Yeah, so I think I would go Cleveland 3.
All right.
And we'll go Giants 4 because we're not going to keep pushing them down because it is you could go either one. So yeah, you can just go ahead and put Giants 4 while you're at it.
Jake says the worst O-line in the league. I'm scared that Quinshon might not be the same. He really spun his foot the wrong way. Joey Loans and Joel. People are disagreeing with you on this. They're saying the Giants over Cleveland. The Browns every year say they have potential.
Hey, I'll let you be the deciding vote here. I think the Browns are a better situation, but you know, I'm not gonna die on this hill.
Are you being a Giants hater because you're a Jets fan?
Not necessarily a Giants hater, but I mean, I think people are understating how much of a disaster the Giants have been the past 7, 8, 9 years. They're literally the worst team in the NFL. They have the most losses than anybody.
That's true. They were 8-30 in their last 38 games. 4 of those wins coming in week 17 and 18. Cleveland is also starting Watson again next year. Yeah. All right. I'll give you.
I don't know if that's a fact that they're going to start Watson next year.
I don't either.
I don't know if that's a fact.
We'll put Cleveland.
And the Giants 4.
Okay, now it's the battle of the shit. Basically, are we going Tennessee, Vegas, Arizona?
I think you go Vegas next just because they have the number 1 overall pick. I think you have to go Vegas next because you got the number 1 overall pick. And if you're a head coaching candidate, you could say, well, I'm getting my quarterback. I'm going to build my system through him. I know what I have coming my way. Whereas if you're one of those other teams, unless if you love Cam Ward, unless if you're just like somebody, if you're a head coaching candidate, you're like, man, I love Cam Ward. I know the Titans ownership's a disaster, but I think I can make Cam Ward a superstar if we just fix a few things. So I would go either Vegas or the Titans next.
So I'll bump the Titans here. Now, here's my problem. I am concerned that the Titans front office, whatever you want to call them, are some of the biggest fucking morons in all of sports. I truly, truly, truly think that. That's my concern. But I like what I saw from Cam Ward post Brian Callahan. I like what I saw from Tony Pollard. I like what I saw from their young wide receivers. I think they signed a bunch of free agents in the offseason 2 years ago that did not give a fuck about winning, that just wanted paychecks. None of it made any sense. And if I can come in with a guy like Cam Ward, a couple of weapons, potentially a new stadium, I don't know, I think I will maybe slightly bump that. However, I do like that if you're Vegas, you have your choice of the guy. But, Drew, you just said you don't even really like anybody in this class. So would you rather?
Well, I'm just saying if you're like a head coach candidate, for some reason you love Mendoza. It's going to come down to, do you like Mendoza or do you like Cam Ward?
Right. I like Cam Ward.
So if you like Cam Ward, then it's the Titans.
Right. And then it's Las Vegas.
Yeah, because then you could say, listen, we got the number, and not only do you have the number 1 overall pick, you're going to have the first pick of the second round, which is basically a first round pick, right? So like you got a lot of resources coming your way.
All right. And Miami.
I would go Miami next.
Why is Arizona the worst landing spot?
Because I don't know what they have. They don't have the top overall pick. They don't have a quarterback. They gave up at the end of the year. Their defense is terrible. Marvin Harrison's looking like a bust. Their division is fucking brutal. I mean, brutal. You can make the case that every single team in the division is one of the best teams in the entire NFL, not just the NFC. I can't. Every other team, I can like make up a story why they're going to get better. I can't make up a story why Arizona can get better. Can you?
Well, they do have offense on talent. Six Money's right. I like Trey McBride. I like James Conner. I like Amari.
James Conner?
You don't like him?
I mean, how old is he?
I don't know. Good question. Amari DeMarcado. You got Marvin Harrison. Michael Wilson was a beast. You got Jacoby Brissett, who's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
Hey, he lost every single start. Ever since he became the starter, they lost every game.
But he had like 450 yards one game, and
when you're losing by 3 touchdowns, you're going to put up some numbers, right?
Sure. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. is awful. No, you're right. And then what about Miami? What do you think about Miami? So Miami, now you got the Patriots, the Bills, the Jets, or whatever.
I'm thinking they're going to get Harbaugh. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think they would have fired McDaniels unless they were going to get Harbaugh. Because, you know, right? I mean, if not, why didn't they fire McDaniel on Monday? It's rare that you see an NFL head coach get fired this many days after the season's over?
I would say I put drag thy nuts in timeout. Guys didn't have anything nice to say. I would say this: if you're Harbaugh and you go to Miami and you're Miami and you want Harbaugh, what are you doing with the quarterback? You going with Quinn Ewers? You going with Zach Wilson? Or are you?
No, well, they're definitely not going with Zach Wilson. They're definitely not going with Zach Wilson. Was on a 1-year deal, so he's gone. He's gone. So it's not Zach Wilson.
Pour one out for
I don't
Zach
know.
Wilson.
I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I have no idea. I'm not saying I understand why Harbaugh would want to go there, but I'm just thinking if they're moving off of McDaniels and the owner supposedly loved McDaniels and they didn't initially fire him, he has to have a backup plan. There's no fucking way they fired McDaniel and they're going to hire Matt Nagy or Jason Garrett, right? That can't happen.
Dude, if I'm not even joking. If Matt Nagy and Jason Garrett get hired, I have to respond. I have to do something. What it is my moral obligation, my duty as a football fan to do something. Now, I'm not talking about anything violent or crazy, but like we've got to march.
Well, these are the coaching candidates. So it's those guys. It's Cliff Kingsbury. It's Brian Flores. It's Clint.
Those are better, by the way. Those are better.
They're better, but it's not that it's screaming like I need to fire my head coach and go hire this guy, right?
Dude,
what about? Do you think there's any chance a college coach gets a job this year? Since it's such a bad pool, like, would it be that crazy to go after Dan Lanning?
Yeah, I mean, Lanning and Marcus Freeman would have been good ones. Although I think Marcus Freeman just feels like more of a college guy.
Freeman already said he's not coming.
No, I know. I'm just saying hypothetically, like, who would be realistically the college coaches that I could see wanting to be pursued by NFL teams? Obviously, Freeman was one. Lanning would make. I would give Lanning a chance. I think I would give Lanning a chance, and then probably.
What about Kirby Smart?
You know, I don't know how I feel about Kirby Smart.
I don't know if NFL players would tolerate Kirby Smart because he's definitely an old school, in your face. I could see it maybe working for like a year and then the locker room just fucking hating him.
Yeah, because here's the thing people have to realize, like, was Nick Saban that good of a coach? Because when he went to the NFL, he was an absolute disaster. He worked with college kids.
Well, I don't know if he was a disaster because keep in mind he kind of got fucked with the Dolphins because
with the Drew Brees and Culpepper thing.
Yeah, I mean, think about how much different history is if that flips.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is this: Nick Saban was a guy. He's a dickhead. Nick Saban was a dickhead, but for whatever reason, the dickhead coaching style works when you're at a place that gets talent. Because the best out of those players. And everybody knows if I fucking go here, I'm immediately going to be a high. I'm going to win championships. I'm going to be a high draft pick. Kirby Smart's done that for Georgia. Is his coaching style going to work for adults and professionals? I don't really think so. I think Kirby Smart is the perfect SEC coach.
What about? I know he's older, but what if Vegas says, you know what? We want a package deal. We want the coach and we want the quarterback.
So what?
Like they go after Indiana's head coach, Cignetti.
That would be sick. He's not leaving.
I don't think he's leaving either, but I'm just saying, let's just dream a little bit. That would be pretty cool.
What would you have to pay him? What would you have to pay him?
Probably $15 million a year.
I was just going to say, I mean, it can't be 10.
No, yeah, it'd have to be like $15 million a year, and then you could sell it on him. Well, you get to coach your guy, you get to coach Mendoza, so it's not like you're coming into a completely foreign situation. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think any college coaches are coming. But I'm just saying, when we're talking about guys like Matt Nagy getting interviews, you got to think outside the box a little bit, right?
Okay, I got a good question for you. Who is the Phillip Rivers of head coaches? Who's somebody you can pull off the couch who hasn't, John Gruden might be the obvious answer, but is there another guy you could just pull off to come in and start coaching and maybe still has it, like somebody we're not even really thinking of that's out there?
Man, nobody's really coming to mind.
Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday, yeah, he did a great job with the Colts. I don't think he won a game. Man, I can't
He
really.
won one game. I think he beat the Raiders.
How about Adam Gase?
No, come on. Give me a real answer.
I can't think of one, bro.
I can't either. That's tough.
I mean, Bill Cowher's been out of coaching for like 20 years, so he's way too old. I don't think Grunen's coming back. I think he's done. He just loves his name being floated out there, but I think his life is too good to go back to coaching.
Yeah.
Right. Bruce Arians is too old.
Tom Brady?
As an NFL head coach? No.
Would you rather have Tom Brady or Matt Nagy?
There's no way Tom Brady would do it, man. His life is too good. He's got an amazing life. I mean, being an NFL head coach is not a great life.
Dude, this is a funny one. Smith, Dirk Cutter?
Dirk Cutter. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's a scary slate. Again, this is why Todd Bowles did not get fired. He should have been fired, but they saw what it was.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. All right, so these are the best spots that we ranked: Baltimore, Atlanta, Cleveland, Giants, Tennessee, Las Vegas, Miami, Arizona. Well, I got one more question for you, Drew, and then we can wrap it up here. Thanks for making the time. This has been great. Maybe we got to get your quick thoughts on the playoffs, on who you like and don't like. But who do you want as your offensive coordinator now that Mike McDaniel's out there? Brian Daboll's out there. There's one other guy that Mike
McDaniel will be number one for sure.
Number one for sure. Okay.
Number one over Daboll for me, for sure. I mean, there have been times I've watched the Dolphins and it's just like, damn, like what they just did was so creative.
Cliff, that's the other guy. Cliff's a good one.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury, but he might get an NFL coaching job.
True. Yeah. Not gonna lie, Cleveland over NYG, one of the worst takes of all time. Okay.
Guys, what is so great about the Giants? Please.
I don't know.
What is so great about the Giants? They are literally the worst NFL franchise the past 6, 7, 8 years. And they're bringing back a disaster GM, which Cleveland is too. But at least with the Browns, you know what you're getting. You're getting an elite defense. You know you're going to have an elite defense. Can you put together an average offense? And you're also going into a division which has tons of question marks. Aaron Rodgers is 1,000 years old. Baltimore's in flux. Cincinnati's a fucking joke. So, maybe you can make magic happen in Cleveland. Whereas with the Giants, I don't see the path.
Yeah, the Commanders are probably going to bounce back with a healthy Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. They've obviously got to get younger on defense, but the Eagles are going to be the Eagles, so you've got that.
And the Cowboys are always okay. The Cowboys are never a disgrace, right? They're they're going to score a ton of points and they're going to win 8 or 9 games, right?
Yeah, but for what it's worth, I like what the Giants have on the field. I do like that more than Drew. But I understand. I also agree that overall situation, Cleveland has its things that are appealing.
You don't have to agree with me. You can take.
I know. I fucking know. I'll disagree with you all the time. But I'm not that gung ho on the Giants being that much better than Cleveland. Because I think there are things to like about Cleveland.
The number one sexy coaching candidate that we're not talking about is supposedly Clint Kubiak. That's the Seahawks offensive coordinator.
I like
Gary Kubiak's son. So,
I like him a lot.
So I guess this is the guy who's going to have the choice of jobs because I'm sure they're all going to want him.
Yeah. Real quick, Steak, about 5 subs. Steak, safe travels. Good to see you. Who got him? Let's see. Adman, Callie K, Pilo, TG, I Will 6969, and Alex Lewandowski subs. We love that. All right. Drew, quick thoughts on the NFL playoff weekend here.
I love the Eagles. And then I wanted to ask you about the Patriots game.
All right. That's frustrating that you love the Eagles because I was thinking about fading the Eagles. I just don't know if I can trust them laying 4.5 points. Not that I think they're going to lose. What do I think about the Patriots game? Let's talk about the Patriots game. Drew says this line is weird. You said it's nearly a pick'em. It is not nearly a pick'em. It's 3.5.
Yeah, but it's in New England, which is 3 points, right?
Oh, right. Well, yeah, give or take. You're saying this line should be bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, New England has been one of the best teams in the NFL. They've lost one game since week 2 or 3, right? I mean, they've been unreal. They don't show any flaws, and you're telling me a team is traveling as far as you can travel in the United States, basically, from LA.
You go to Bangor, Maine.
Okay. Well, basically traveling as far as you can. They're going to play in cold weather. I'm sure it's going to be 40 degrees. Chargers are not typically built for those types of situations. So, yeah, it's a weird line. Yeah, I totally expected that line to be 5 or 6.
It's an interesting take. I didn't really think of or look at it that way. And I'm wondering if the reason, if you think this line is short, either they are respecting the Chargers or they are disrespecting the Patriots. Well,
I think they're disrespecting the Patriots. I think they're saying the Patriots didn't play anybody and their quarterback's a baby.
If you're disrespecting the Patriots, you're disrespecting them because they've beaten nobody.
Right. And Drake May is inexperienced.
inexperienced. Justin Herbert has experience. Has he had success in the playoffs? No. Harbaugh, people, I'm not saying he's the better coach than Vrabel, but he's a good coach and people respect him.
Yeah, he's gone to a Super Bowl.
Gone to a Super Bowl, right? The defense, who I thought was pretty fugazi, from what I understand, the Chargers defense has started to play better later in the year. I don't know on the offensive side though where the injuries lie, because I believe their two offensive linemen are done.
Yeah, their offensive line's been banged up all year. Herbert's been getting banged up. He is banged up. He's playing hurt.
He's got a broken fucking left hand. He had surgery a couple weeks ago.
So I just thought it was a bizarre line. I thought for sure that line, that was out of everything I saw on the board, that stood out to me the most. I thought that was going to be like 5 or 6 points. And once I saw it basically being a pick 'em, when you take the 3 points away for being at home, you're basically telling me that the Pats are only half a point better than the Chargers. I found that surprising.
Right. Okay. I pick up what you're putting down. For what it's worth, the total has moved up from 45.5 to 46. I feel like that's a little interesting. I mean, this isn't good for you because you're a Jets fan, but I love Drake May. Like watching him play football, he's really, really good. But people have pointed out to me that the Patriots defense is a little sus. So maybe the Chargers can control time of possession, get the running game going a little bit, not ask Herbert to do too much. He's been a menace with his legs. I don't know what's going on with Lab McConkey. He's done, but Keenan Allen, Gadsden, Quentin Johnson's been much better. I don't know. We're gonna have to see a big Omari Hampton.
Talk about Keenan Allen. That's insane.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty wild. And then the other game that I need to ask you, because we're going Jags Bills.
I love the Jags. I mean, the Jags look like the best team in the NFL outside of the Seahawks. They don't have a flaw right now. They do everything well, and then they got a kicker who nails 70-yard field goals. So, like, basically, they just got to get the ball to the 50-yard line, and they're getting points. I can't find a flaw. You know what I really love about the Jaguars, though, more than anything, is I just love the vibes. Like, I just love looking at the locker room. They honestly remind me of a college team. They seem to genuinely be having fun. They gave Trevor Lawrence the grill. They're having a great time. They're rolling. There's not a lot of pressure on them. Whereas, like, talk about a tight asshole situation. Who has a tighter asshole right now than Buffalo? Because if they don't do it this year, when are they going to do it? When are they going to do it?
That's a very good question. I don't know. Everybody's saying that. Whole O-line is horrific. You hang your hat on the Patriot. Oh, we're still talking about the Patriots. Chargers on Sunday night in New England with a real feel of 11. Pats Megamax. Love you, Trevor. Always believed in you. Jags are fake sharp. They might be, man. That's the one thing. Talk about, everybody on Miami. Everybody is loving the Jags.
But they're loving the Jags just because what can you think of the past 10 weeks to not love the Jags? Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football he's played of his career. The defense is out of its mind, getting turnovers. I guess maybe their running game isn't like great, but that's the only fault you could find. But, their running game isn't great, but the Bills' run defense sucks.
Yeah.
So, it's not even that big of a concern.
It's not that big of a concern. This has to be a Josh Allen superhero or James Cook superhero game. And it's going to have to be, or it's going to have to be Lawrence shits his pants. Like that's what has to happen. Because I'm not a Sean McDermott guy, but you could sell me on the fact that Liam Cohen's an experience in his first playoff game that he's a head coach of, and Trevor Lawrence, maybe they just shit their pants. It could happen.
They don't look nervous or tight to me though. Like I guess the game hasn't happened yet, but just like the way that they're rolling and like, because they had a little pressure on them to win the division because, the Texans, they've been on fire too, right? Sure, like, if they just stubbed their toe a little bit, they wouldn't even have won the division. Yeah. And they didn't, I didn't see any leakage there. And the footage you see from the locker room, they seem all bought in. I mean, Liam Cohen, the guy has just, done everything that nobody expected him to do.
Yes, we were way wrong on that. Real quick, Chase Breedlove says, no dick riding. This is the first time I've been here in months. I've been beyond locked in. You guys flow really well together, and it feels like a legit podcast. Good work, DJ, and come a long way. Thank you, Chase. Yep, Drew, legit ball knower, filling in for Steak. Couldn't ask for a better sub in today. We'll have Drew on more often.
And you're really going to the game?
We're going to the game. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Were tickets really crazy or not too bad?
Well, yes and no. We got a really good deal on tickets that are like on the field. Jake's friends with a guy who is a certified super fan for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He flies to London every year.
Oh my God.
He went to Pittsburgh the year the Blake Bortles beat the Steelers. He went to New England the year they almost beat the Patriots. He goes to like every playoff game, and he's like already been contacted by the local news. So he's got a connection on tickets for us and like a whole setup and everything. So, I mean, I'm here. I was going to fly back to New York. I'm like, I have to go to this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's on paper. You never know how it's going to play out, but it's the best game this weekend.
100%. 100%. So have to do it.
It's the one game where you feel like the winner could go to the Super Bowl. I don't really feel that way about any other game.
I think the winner of this game wins. I'll say wins the AFC. How about that? The winner of this game wins the AFC. All right, Drew. Great job. I'm gonna wrap it up here a few minutes early. Thank you very much. We'll see you maybe, I don't know, next week or something. We'll do a rundown, shoot the shit.
And the Eagles are a lock this weekend. Take that.
I don't know. You like the point? You're laying the points?
Yeah, I think all the 49ers injuries, it's a disaster. The 49ers last week was a must win. They had to have that bye. They're the type of team that needs home field advantage. They're so banged up. The Eagles, they've basically been on cruise control, resting guys. It's a bad situation for the 49ers. I think they get rolled. I don't think that. I think that's one of the most lopsided games of the weekend, actually.
Yeah. Okay. I have my concerns. I like the Niners in the first half, getting a little cheeky on that one, but I don't know. I
don't see Purdy having success against the Eagles' defensive line. The weather's probably going to be shitty. I don't know. I think it gets ugly. I think Eagles win like 31-10.
Okay. I might go against you and take the points, but not necessarily saying that the Niners are going to win this game. Anyway, we can follow Drew. Drew does have a Twitter, but he doesn't really tweet too much, so you'll just see him here for the most part. Please have Drew on more. Noted. Drew is a ball knower. Go Birds. Yep. What is that? Go Canes.
Go Canes. Who would have thought? We're one win away, baby. One win away. Go Canes. Fuck Lane Kiffin.
Yep. RIP to having Danny Boy Kane make an appearance on
maybe for the championship game he'll make an appearance.
That'd be a great time. All right, Drew. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you. Good luck tonight. All right, Drew. Let's give it up for Drew. Excellent job by Drew. Yeah, guys, certified ball knower. I've always said my whole life since I've known him in middle school. He's born to have a talk show, just talk about sports all day for a living. Did y'all see that stat about the ref who was participating in the game? Eagles are 8-1 with this ref, including NFC Championship. Oh, interesting. No, I don't think I did. Thank you, McKiffin. I don't know what the skulls are for. Fuck Carson Beck. Oh, gotcha. Okay, he used the L word. Uh-oh. Did he say lock? Yeah. Well, Drew knows. I didn't make it a secret. I'm taking on this. I don't know what they are in Hard Rock. I would obviously prefer to use Profit X, but I think Profit X they're 3. If I get 3.5 on Hard Rock, I'm going to take it. Let's look at college basketball real quick, and then I'm going to shut it down. I got some work to catch up on. I got a haircut I'm getting later today. I'll try to see if I have some time to swing by the sauna. Still trying to kick this fucking cold. Like day 5, twice in 2 weeks. It's crazy. Got to get healthy. Also, what was I going to say? I got to pick my wife up from the airport tonight at 10:30. So I will indeed be staying up. I won't be watching, I guess, the very end of this game. I'll be listening to it on the radio while I'm driving down to the airport. Gonna have to have probably a 5 or 6 o'clock little latte or something, or maybe just a straight up cold brew. I don't know. We'll see. This is not the CBB slate for you. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, let's just do this then. Let's just do a little recap. I'll shut it down early and we'll go about our day. These are the best positions we ranked at. That's fun. I'll tweet it. See if you guys do or don't like it, agree with it. Sounds like everybody's disagreement is with Cleveland and the Giants. Indiana -8. I think they covered. Right? Indiana -8. Did they cover? You guys tell me. It's a good read. Man, I'm putting them on. I got it off. I'm putting them. I mean, also this Profit X shirt, I love it. Honestly, it's good material. The sweater's good, but little slimming for me. All right, it's a large, but it kind of fits. It kind of fits like a medium, but I'm just fat. All right, this is the holidays. Okay, this is the holidays. All right, give me like a month. Maybe we'll get there. Okay, covered and Wake was an X. What do you mean? Oh, Wake was an X. Yep. Okay, so Indiana, bang. I did not play them. Wake Forest, no. Stanford. Did Stanford cover? Stanford was a lean. Neither Steak nor myself played Stanford, but it was a lean, so we'll take accountability for it. I was on VT. They blew a 12-point lead in 2 minutes. No way. Stanford won fucking outright. Wow. Good shit. That one, I'll give Steak that one. That Steak was on that one. Providence. Played Providence. By the way, not up here. I played Kentucky. Didn't even Missouri. Shout out to Steak on that one. That was all Steak. Steak fucking called it. He was talking about we're fading the bounce back spots. We're fading the bounce back. Tricep looks good from this angle a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. We're fading the bounce back spots. He said, sure, Kentucky bounce backs and covers. Kentucky sucks. They suck. Providence, though, that was nice. Went to overtime, too. The Dogs die in overtime. If I would have lost that in fucking overtime, I'd have been pissed. I don't know. I did not play USF. Did USF cover? I did not play USF. And this over did not come through. Baylor, Indiana. Baylor, Iowa State. Baylor, Iowa State. Yep. Providence absolutely should have won. Yep. Kentucky is cat meat. USF won by 4. Ouch. 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 All right. Steak. I will see you tonight for the Pickett pregame. Just a reminder, can you guys do us a favor? Go to the Pickett Sports YouTube channel, subscribe to it. What's official play for Miami Ole Miss? Join us tonight and find out. Join us tonight and find out, J. Colt. All right, join us tonight and find out. Go to the Pickett Sports YouTube page. We'll be live tonight, 6 p.m., and we'll be talking all things Ole Miss, Miami, 6 p.m. I will tweet it here shortly. I'm going to make a graphic as soon as we're done. You guys have a great day. I do got to run out of here in a little bit. I'll make the graphic this afternoon back. From a haircut. Anyone trade? No, it doesn't really look like it. All right, you guys have a great day. Good luck on your wagers. Rocking the throat today. Yeah, we didn't have water over here. We had a leak, so I wasn't able to take a shower. So this is just straight up bedhead, which honestly not bad. But I do got to get a haircut. I got too much hair going on. All right, guys, have a great night. And as always, you are welcome. Thank you, DJ. You're very welcome. You have a great day.